Welcome to Music from the Heartland, with songs at the center, celebrating the craft of songwriting. This Master Series episode features a former All-Pro defensive tackle for the Cincinnati Bengals, who also just happens to be a Nashville Songwriters Hall of Famer and ASCAP Songwriter of the Year, who's written 12 #1 country hits, Grammy Award winner, Mr. Mike Reid. Funding for Songs at the Center provided by...
At the James at Ohio State, a cancer diagnosis is never routine. That's why we opened the James Cancer Diagnostic Center, a place where you can turn if you think you have cancer. Learn more at cancer.osu.edu/diagnostic center.
Funding also provided by Jobs Ohio.
Hey, Grandpa, someday I'm gonna touch the top of that tree.
Well, why stop there when you can touch the sky and create amazing things? And you can touch hearts, expand minds and imaginations. But no matter what you do, I want you to promise me one thing, that you will always reach for the top.
I promise, Grandpa.
If you can dream it, you can find it here.
Bye, Mr. Tree.
Now the creator and host of our show, singer-songwriter Eric Gnezda.
Welcome to Songs at the Center. We're delighted that you joined us for this Master Series. On this episode, we have a gentleman who's got a wide variety of experiences. He's a Grammy Award-winning songwriter, wrote 12 #1 country hits, was ASCAP Songwriter of the Year, is a member of Nashville Songwriting Hall of Fame. He also is an award-winning composer of theatrical works. Believe it or not, he was a defensive lineman for the Cincinnati Bengals, All-Pro, and perhaps he'll be best remembered for writing or co-writing the song I Can't Make You Love Me, which Bonnie Raitt turned into one of the century's best records. Mike Reid.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, listen, that intro, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who that guy you're talking about is. So, and I don't relate to my life really, Eric, that way, but that's very generous of you to mention all that. Well, you know what? There's another way of looking at that.
Okay.
I have managed to stay one step ahead of a real job. A real honest work has always frightened me.
Yeah.
So thus far, they haven't found me out.
Yeah. Well, I want to start off by throwing a word at you that I think describes you in all aspects of your life, and I'd like to get your response. Curious.
Oh. Yeah, I think that I'll answer you quite seriously. I think, in lieu of any great intellectual capacities or I know myself, my brain power. I have been, the thing that has driven me most of my life, Eric, I think is curiosity. And perhaps obsessively at times, take you into a deeper place with things. But certainly that was the case with writing. Not so much with athletics, because it's the physical manifestation of your body in the world. Writing it's in the ether, you know.
One of the people that you co-wrote with was Craig Wiseman, who's written a ton of songs.
Amazing Nashville success story, Craig.
And his probably most famous song is Live Like You Were Dying for Tim McGraw.
For Tim McGraw, yeah.
But you wrote a song called Everywhere.
Right, yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
So we were in the writing room, and I remember, it's a long time ago, and I remember thinking I wanted to write a Liszt song. And a list of, ways in which she's broken our heart, your heart. No, that's not any fun. And then we started talking about places, a Liszt song. And we got to the end of the line, the chorus we were writing, and Craig just looked at me and said, Everywhere. And I said, well, that's the song. There's the title. So we had a second verse, and the song was about a guy going, wherever he went, he saw her, memories of her. We looked up the biggest country radio station in America, and it was in Dallas. So we ended up I've ruined this song for people now, right?
No.
So we ended up putting that in. And of course, Tim McGraw recorded it. It was a
Right.
Tim McGraw hit.
Well, play us everywhere.
All right, okay. This is a little, Tim did a wonderful record with Byron Gallimore, and this is a little different. At my age, Eric, I play my songs as fast as I can remember them, which tends to slow them down a little bit, okay? We were born in this little town. Growing up, I was counting down every single day till we made our getaway. You said you could never see yourself trying to make a life anywhere else. This would be your home. I was on my own. Ever since we said goodbye, I've been out here on the wind. Girl, you wouldn't be surprised at all them places you have been. Seen you in Albuquerque, waiting out a blizzard. Arizona, dancing across the desert, watching the sunset in Monterey. Girl, I swear, just the other day you were down in Georgia, picking them peaches. Carolina, barefoot on the beaches. No matter where you choose to be, in my heart I'll always see you everywhere. Nowadays when I'm passing through, conversation always turns to you. I hear you doing fine, living out by the county line. Got a man who comes home every night, couple of kids and the kind of life that you want to lead. Ah, you could say the same for me. You and I, we made that choice all those years ago. Still, I know I'm gonna hear your voice. I'm gonna see you somewhere down that road. Maybe in Oklahoma, driving across the prairie. Dallas, Texas, isn't that where we always said that we would love to try, but we never did. Maybe that's why you're on every highway, just beyond the high beams, right beside me in all of my sweet dreams. No matter where you choose to be, in my heart I'll always see you everywhere, everywhere. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
Mike, as songwriters, we're all interested in, what's your approach to dealing with a fallow period when you're at the piano and you're just playing the same progressions
sure.
and the same chords and all that. Is there a technique you use to get out of that?
A couple of things, Eric. I take, if I have an idea, for a song or an idea for a poem, I'll take it for a walk, get away from the piano, because my hands will go, right? Yeah, we did talk about this. My hands will go to familiar places. The other thing too, I find that we tend to, young writers, and I do it too, when you start to write something, you tend to go gangbusters, You see, I'll just do whatever, you play or you. Well, that's all familiar stuff that I get bored with. So sometimes what I will do, if I have one line, let's say, what do you have to say? Do you have anything to, let's say, take a line like, do you have anything to say if nobody's listening? Let's take that line.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you imagine everyone in this room, right, has agreed that nobody is going to talk. Nobody's going to say anything until somebody has something undeniable to say. Well, we're going to apply that same thing to music. We'll say this is an E flat. We're going to say this is the silence. So I will sit here for 10 minutes sometimes. So you're going to add one voice that's going to say one thing. Now, right away, you feel that tension. So you want to resolve that. Now, other voices are beginning to interject. Do you have anything to say? When nobody is listening, right? So automatically I'm into territory there that I don't ordinarily go to. Now, and I make sure I record that and come back and revisit, sit with it. That will help. Not always.
Right.
But if you reduce things to their basic elements, then not only what that does too, Eric, is it frees up space for melodic content.
Right. Robert Frost, and I want our viewers to know you're also a poet. You write a lot
of
poetry. Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily follow I'm a poet.
Well, we'll classify you as a poet.
Okay.
But Robert Frost said, one must begin on insufficient knowledge.
One of my favorite
so,
phrases.
Yeah, so what do you take from that as a songwriter?
To begin, to put one word down, to quell the, oh, look, you're an ex-defensive tackle. What do you think you're doing? No one's, all these, you got to get these little guys out of the room. The little guys, Eric, to say, you can't be serious. No one cares about this. No one's going to care about this.
Yeah.
Thing.
But there is a song that, at least if we can believe what you said in the past, was built on some personal experience, was built on knowledge, and that's A Stranger in My House. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but one time you were interviewed and you said that you and your wife got in a fight, and you said, I feel like I'm a stranger in my house.
Well, she actually yelled that at me.
Oh, she yelled that at you. Okay.
She yelled because we hadn't gotten anything going, and I was down on Music Road. Nothing was making sense. And she was working at nights in restaurants, and so we weren't seeing each other. So we had to test people who love one another, occasionally do.
Well, and is it true that after you wrote that song and it went to #1, she said that you should fight more?
As I remember, she said, I might as well be living with a stranger in my house. And as mad as I was at that fight, I remember thinking, boy, that's a pretty good little song title. I said, well, you just wait here. And then I went in and wrote it down.
Yeah.
Put it in my sock drawer. And then Millsap recorded it, and it was a unique record for country because, you know, you do not hear songs in minor keys in country music.
Yeah.
You just don't hear them. You know, I did a little thing about this note. This is without a great snare sound and a drum. This is a little more of a personal version of that. Is that okay?
Oh, that's fine.
Try to put the little mystery. There's a silence here between us I've never heard before. I can't find the love in her eyes anymore. There's some changes going on I'm beginning to understand. When I'm holding her, swear I feel presence of another man. There's a stranger in my house, somebody here that I can't see. A stranger in my house, somebody here trying to take her away from me. She sits staring out the window, a million miles away. When I ask if she's all right, she never has a whole lot to say. Is it somebody we both know? Somebody she just met. I wonder, is she loving him in her mind? Lying here in my bed, there's a stranger in my house, somebody here that I can't see. A stranger in my house, somebody here trying to take her love from me. Suspicions lead to questions, questions to alibis. Is it just my imagination? Has her love turned into lies? A stranger in my house, somebody here that I can't see. A stranger in my house, somebody here trying to take her love from me.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Give me a second here. Isn't that amazing to hear a song like that on piano by the writer himself? That's just,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
that's what this show is all about. Is
Excellent.
boiling a song down to an instrument and the voice that wrote it. And I've heard that song a million times. To hear it like that is really something special.
Oh, that's so nice, Eric.
This episode of Songs at the Center comes to you from our home theater, the McConnell Arts Center in Worthington, Ohio.
Well, your song "Walk on Faith" is one. It went to #1. It was one of your releases.
I was going along back in when would this have been, Eric? The late 80s, with a wonderful songwriting life. I had 2 little babies, and Bob Montgomery, the late great Bob Montgomery, they were Columbia at the time, They became Sony, and he said, "Hey, we love Willie's record, but I like your demo better. You want to make a record?" And I went, "Well, okay. I'll take your money," as Hank Jr. said. "I'll make your record." So I did, and tripped over myself and had a daggone hit. The next thing you know, I'm on a bus with a bay full of T-shirts with my picture on it, and little bitty footballs with "Walk on Faith" written on them that I would throw out to the audience. My ego said, great to go out there and have a bunch of people love you. My soul said, are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure about this?
Well, let's hear Walk on Faith.
All right. We have come to the place in our lives where faith must be stronger than fear. For if true love is our destination, through every storm, it must always be clear. The surest way to get there from here is to walk on faith and to trust in love. Keep on putting one foot down in front of the other. When the valley's so wide, we stumble in stride, and everything inside wants to give up. That's when you walk on faith and you trust in love. Further on, beyond the shadows of our doubt, we will live where true love never dies. Though the road that we must travel is uncertain, there is a truth in your heart that never lies. It is by such grace that we are bound to arrive. If we walk on faith and we trust in love, keep on putting one foot down in front of the other. When the valley's so wide, well, we stumble in stride, and everything inside's telling you to give up. That's when you walk on faith and you trust in love. When the valley's so wide, we stumble in stride, yeah. Everything inside wants to give up. That's when you walk on faith and you trust in love. Trust in love.
Thank you, Mike Reid. And thank you for watching us. We hope that you'll tune in to television stations all across America where you'll always find Songs at the Center. I'm Eric Gnezda, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, folks.
Funding for Songs at the Center provided by Jobs Ohio.
Hey, Grandpa, someday I'm gonna touch the top of that tree.
Well, why stop there when you can touch the sky and create amazing things? And you can touch hearts, expand minds and imaginations. But no matter what you do, I want you to promise me one thing, that you will always reach for the top.
I promise, Grandpa.
If you can dream it, you can find it here.
Bye, Mr. Tree.
Additional funding provided by
At the James at Ohio State, a cancer diagnosis is never routine. That's why we opened the James Cancer Diagnostic Center, a place where you can turn if you think you have cancer. Learn more at cancer.osu.edu/diagnostic center.
More about Songs at the Center at songsatthecenter.tv.